To go back for a minute, I'm intrigued with the fact that you learned from your student.
Yes.
And I was going to ask you about inspirations and mentors along the way, and I think it's wonderful that the teacher learned from the student. Are you still in touch with this person? Or?
Yes, yes, very much so. He, matter of fact, is an organic farmer here in Nebraska now.
Uh-huh. Were you influenced by other people, or was he the one that really got you started thinking and investigating and reading on your own?
Yeah, David's the one that got me started.
His name is David?
David, yeah, David Vetter.
Vetter.
Right.
I have heard that name, yes.
So David got me started, and you know, David and I had long conversations about some of the principles of organic agriculture, and I began to do some reading in the field. And along the way, there were, of course, a lot of people. My principal mentors, I think I would have to say, there were other farmers.
Mm-hmm.
When we first moved to North Dakota, you know, we sort of assumed that we were the only organic farmers in the state.
You were out there pioneering,
right?
yes.
Yeah. And then gradually we began to discover that there were others, and a meeting of farmers was called in Bismarck, North Dakota, a couple of years after we were out there.
Mm-hmm.
That was really a commercial meeting. It was called by a company that was wanting to sell so-called organic fertilizers. And that was the first time that many of us, there were about 100 folks there, and I was amazed that there were that many people that were interested in that.
And this would be about what year?
This was in 1978.
That is surprising.
Right. And they were really, I mean, the company folded. It was premature in terms of a market.
Yes.
But the service which they did for me was to get all of us together.
Mm-hmm.
And in that meeting, there was a very strong feeling among all of us that, or at least a core group of us, that we needed to stay in touch with each other. So we just somebody announced that, you know, anybody that's interested in continuing some sort of network here, you know, why don't you stay after the conference? And 45 people stayed. And out of that, we organized a little steering committee, and out of it evolved what is now the Northern Plains Sustainable Agriculture Society, which is a network of farmers that are organized to gather and share information about these kinds of systems.
And that's what you're currently president of, right?
I'm not right now the president. I was president for a number of years. Terry Jacobson, another farmer in North Dakota, is currently the president.
Mm-hmm. And how many members does it have now?
It now has 200 members. Originally started out with 23. And we did absolutely nothing to promote it. It was all word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
Just, you know,
communication.
You know, but that was, you know, both in terms of my philosophy about education, I guess, and in terms of what actually happened. Those of us in that association, you know, we spent a lot of time on the phone. We have an annual conference, which is usually a sort of a 3-day affair, in which we bring some resource people in to try to help us to better understand what's happening on the cutting edge. But basically, it's a matter of knowing each other, getting on the phone, and when we have a problem, and saying, you know, finding out what somebody else has had that problem, sharing our successes and failures, and we just learn from each other.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sort of the reversal of the technology transfer approach to education,
yes, it certainly is.
In which it's very much. And one of the really exciting things that's happened in the last 2 years is that North Dakota State University has become very much involved with us, especially through the Carrington Research Extension Center, which has emerged as the primary center for sustainable ag research. And what's happened now is that network has moved on out, and the leadership at the center is who very much shares, you know, our concept of learning, and supports the notion that there are some things that we can learn from the research center and some things the research center can learn from farmers on the farm. And that two-way sharing has emerged in some very remarkable, exciting ways over the last 2 years.
It's not found in every state.
No.
No, not at all.